welcome back. Today I have some very exciting news. I was selected for my first test. So this video will just be based on my experience with the test pattern. It's a really beautiful top called the Urtica. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Urtica top by Here Goes Knotting. Looks like this. So yeah, I've had a look over the test pattern already, and it calls for a thread weight yarn and a 2.5mm hook. So in my stash I brought this for a different project, but this is Anchor Freesia 12 in just a white shade. I can't remember what shade it actually was. I think it might have actually just been white. This is 200 grams and 1,140 meters. The pattern recommended using 280 meters for a size small. So I'm not a size small, but I'm going to have plenty of this. I've actually got 2 of these as well. So I don't think it's going to get through anywhere near one of these. For my crochet hooks, I normally use furls, but I don't have a small enough furls hook. I'm not sure if they even go that small, if I'm honest. I do have a Clover Soft Touch in 2.25, which I have used previously when I did a little swatch of that yarn. But I want to make the first attempt as close to the pattern as possible, as it is a test pattern, and I do have a 2.5mm hook just in one of these basic ones. So I'll be using this. If this does get too annoying, I will just use my Clover or order another Clover. Probably makes the most sense. I am probably also going to make 2 versions of this top. One strictly following the pattern, recommended hook size, recommended yarn weight, etc. And then I've also got, because I don't love how this feels, it's a little bit scratchy. So I do also have this by Hobie. This is just Friend's Wheel. I've had this literally forever in this brown shade. It is, I think it's considered a DK weight, maybe a very thin DK weight yarn. I normally use this with a 3.5, and I've got 400 meters of this. I think I've used a tiny bit of this, so there may be like 390 on here or something like that. So I'm going to make a second version, I think, in this colour as well, but the first one we're going to make will be the white shade, and then we'll get onto this brown one. I've got all my materials out in front of me. I don't know if you guys do this, I match my stitch markers to my yarn colour. So I've got a white one to go with this yarn and a brown one which I've attached here for the brown yarn. Yeah, I'll keep you updated with progress as and when we have progress to discuss. Step 1 has been done. We've taken all our measurements, we've already got them written down. So let's start crocheting. Update, I've done this much. I don't know why that is so tangled, it's not tangled. And this hook is already driving me insane. So I'm going to order a 2.5 in a Clover Soft Touch. I'll continue working with this one until my Soft Touch one arrives, but this is not going to be used. Nope. Far too skinny. I think I'm just used to using the much thicker felt hook. And this is, nope. We'll be ordering a new one. Further update, I am not going to be using a 2.5mm hook. This yarn that I've got, it's just too gappy. I generally crochet with quite tight tension anyway, but the 2.5 just wasn't looking great, and when I swatched this previously I did use a 2.25, so I've just done literally the first row using my 2.25 hook, and this is looking much better, much more how I'd want it to look. Yeah, I'm just going to do this project in a 2.25mm hook. So yeah, we'll catch up when this is a little bit bigger, so I've got more to see. this far so far on the first cup. We are getting fairly far through it, if I'm honest. I want it to be 22 centimeters in total, and we're currently at about 18. Every 2 rows seems to be about 1 centimeter, and I need to put 3 rows on the edge as a different stitch. So I need to make this 20.5 in total. So I think I've got about another 5 rows of this double crochet to go. I've got about 45-50 minutes free now. I've got a hair appointment in a little bit, so I think I'm just going to put my headphones in, listen to some music, really lock in, try and get these last 5 rows done, and then hopefully also the last 3 potentially as well today on this first cup, so then this first cup is completely done. Yeah, I will catch up with you in about 45 minutes time of progress. Hi, it's now Saturday. It's like 3 or 4 days since I provided you guys with an update. However, I am making really good progress on my Urtica pattern test. So I think when I last caught up with you, I had got about halfway through the first cup for the white one. Just over here, I'll just go right there. So I've now completely finished the first 2 cups, which we can demonstrate maybe. I'm actually wearing a good colour today. Like so, it will go like so, less curly, etc. This is a halter neck top and it's open at the bottom. Yeah, these are completely done. I did end up with a slight issue with the stitch count because it was meant to be a multiple of 3 on my last row and mine wasn't. So I had to be inventive, shall we say, with the mesh row, but they both turned out really good. Little focus, yeah, they're looking really nice. Very happy with how these turned out. I now also have a bag, I just got these on Amazon, of liners which will go inside of the cups. I've got these in white, black, and they're at the bottom, but they're like a tanny sort of colour. I was originally thinking that they may look better with a darker or a contrasting liner, so you could see the stitches better. However, sorry, I'm so close to this camera, by the way. The white background one on the white still actually shows the stitches up really well, and I think it looks better than the black, so I think I'm actually just going to match it. They are slightly, well, quite a lot smaller actually than my cup size, so they're just going to fit, I guess, somewhere in the middle or maybe lower. Maybe I'll like line the bottom edge up or something and just have the top bit slightly free, which is fine. So yeah, that's, oh actually I've got another update, I'll be right back. So the next part of this pattern was doing a swatch for the band. So this was my first attempt at it. I think I've definitely done something wrong with this. Well, I have, because this hole here is way bigger than it should be. Like, it should be the same size as this one, but this is way bigger. So I've clearly done, I think I've chained too many here, which is what that problem was. I also didn't have the right chain length at the bottom, and I just didn't, this is blocked, which is why it's so square, but I didn't like how this was actually looking. So what I have done is did a second swatch, but I loosened the chain at the bottom because that was what was pulling it up to start off with. And when I loosened the chain, my stitch count is perfect. The pattern came out perfect and you can see it, yeah, really, really well. So really happy with this. So I need to, now this is blocked and dried, I need to, oh, you can really see that nicely actually. I need to figure out how the band width on the top now. So this will go, so this will be the cup one. We'll put that, I don't know, like here, say. And then this bottom band, I was gonna maybe do 4 motifs because this is currently 3. But since doing this, I actually like just how the 3 looks. So I'm gonna do 3 to start off with, play around with it, see how it looks. This will lay way flatter as well. So yep, that is that update. So there was a little bit of confusion with the calculation on the band swatches and how you calculate the band width for your starting chain. So while the pattern designer was figuring that out, the pattern was actually fine. But while she was figuring that out, I did make a start on my second version of this. It's got grass on it. I was just taking photos of this outside. So this is exactly the same size as the white one. Looking really nice. So this one is a completely different yarn weight. So this is, we've got a little nugget started here of the second cup. This is the Friends Wheel by Hobie. I've had this for a very long time. It's just a, I don't know what shade it actually is. Does it say? It's colour 14. It's a fine weight yarn and a cotton and acrylic blend. For this one, it says it's a fine weight. I would class this more as a thin DK personally. So I'm using a 4mm hook for this, and I think this is actually the perfect hook size to still get those nice gaps in between my stitches. Again, I had to go a little bit AWOL with the mesh robes. My stitch count was off, but I managed to make it work and it looks great. So this is much, much softer than that white one. The white one is the I'm Kerrie, which is a cotton thread. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this one looks. It's also working up so much quicker than the white one, just because the stitches on the hook is so much bigger. This took me several attempts, but probably maybe only like 2.5 to 3 hours to do 1 cup, whereas it took me an entire day to do the white cup. So yeah, making it a huge difference this time. And then I've got one further update, so I'm just going to go grab that. I had actually forgotten I had ordered this, and it turned up with some chopping boards that I ordered off Amazon, because our chopping boards are falling apart. This is the I don't know how to pronounce the brand, Sheepies. I'm saying Sheepies because that's how Maura pronounces it. So Sheepies, Maxi, Sugar Rush, and just a black colour. So this is the yarn actually recommended for the pattern. So the pattern designer made a size small using one of these. These are 50 grams and 280 meters, and recommended a 2.5 hook. However, for the white one, the I'm Kerrie one is going to be exactly as the pattern. So it's going to look the same stitch count, same straps, it's a halter neck, like everything will be exactly the same. The brown one I'm going to do some experimentation on, and I think I'm going to attempt to do a corset attachment, which is in the pattern as well for that one, but it's a completely different yarn weight. And for this one, because I like how quickly the brown one is working up, I am going to maybe actually dual strand this with a 3.5 or a 4mm hook. Haven't decided yet. I'll start with a 4, maybe 2 loose, and then we'll go down to a 3.5. Maybe even a 3 if I've got one. I don't know if I've got a 3. We'll ponder that one. But I'm going to try this with a 4. Dual strands in it. And yeah, so I think I'm actually going to end up with 3 different versions of this top. White one, exactly as patterned. Brown one going slightly off piece, but pretty much on pattern. And the black one will be similar to the brown one. Similar, but just using a different weight of yarn. So I'm hoping by using a 4mm for the brown one and the black one, I'm actually going to have time to do all of these. It is the 11th of July now, and the pattern test closes on the 3rd of August. So I've already made pretty good progress with the other 2. So I think I'll probably be okay to do all 3 by the 3rd of August with no issue. The plan of action for today is to finish the second cup of the brown one, and then do the gauge swatch for the band on the brown one as well. And I also then want to edit a video for my YouTube channel. Obviously you're watching it on YouTube, so that'll be edited as well. And then if I get time, I also then want to calculate the maths for the white band, and hopefully my gauge swatch will then be dry for the brown one. So it's really hot still in the UK. It's like 30 odd degrees, so it dries really quick right now, just at room temperature. I guess it's still room temperature. So the swatch for that may be dry anyway by later, to do the maths for the brown one as well. Then once I've done the maths for those 2, we'll either get started on the bands for them, or we'll start on the black one. But that is a lot to do in one day, so that's probably more of a weekend plan in general. I'm also probably going to get distracted at some point by video games, life, chores, etc. So who knows what we'll get done. But I'll actually try and remember to update you as when we've got more progress. So I've actually got a new tripod, which now extends upwards, so I don't have to sit effectively on top of my door for you to see me. I can sit at my desk, which is absolutely fantastic. So shout out to the husband for buying me a new tripod. It's far more stable than the last one. The camera actually did fall over a few times filming with the last one, which was far from ideal, but this new tripod is so much better. And it's now got a selfie stick as well. So watch your space, what we're going to achieve with this tripod. Yeah, just gonna carry on crocheting, maybe watch a little bit Kelsey while we I think I've got a video PO box opening of hers to catch up on, so I'll watch that while working on my this brown cup. We'll do that. It's been 3 days, I think, since I last updated you with this. But I finished the second cup of my top. This is the back band, so I've done the maths, done the back band, and it is snug, but it's meant to be snug. I think I've got a very tight chain, but I think that actually is going to work in my favour if I'm honest. So yeah, all I've got to do with this is do a few rows of the motif along the band, and this will be, actually no it's not, it won't be done. So I've got to weave in the end and do the strap. But maybe in the next 2 days I'll get this finished. So yeah, I'll just show you more progress in, well, probably when I finish the band actually. I can't make my mind up if I'm going to do 2 or 3 motifs currently. I'm going to try 2, then I'll update you if I'm going to do a 3rd or not. So we'll do that and I'll see you back in a bit. We've got them joined, that's the back I'm showing you, and we've got the first row of motifs. So this is going to be the back. but that's one stretched out. I reckon I need 3 actually. Let me get the swatch really quick. So the swatch is actually 3 motifs. Maybe that's too long. We'll stick with plan A. We'll go with 2. We'll try it on. We'll do 2. We can rejoin the yarn if we need to. We'll do 2. Do the straps. Try it on. If we need a 3rd, we'll do a 3rd then. Plans. Plans, plans, plans. I'm back. It's been a hot minute. Well, for you it's actually been like 2 seconds, but it's been about a week, maybe even over a week since I last filmed. However, I have updates. I have good progress that I want to share. So the brown version of this top is now completely done. Well, I say it's completely done. I just got to block the band and the straps and then it's done. So this is the final top. Really pleased with how this came out, actually very, very pleased. I went for a halter neck at the top. Ignore the cups for now, and then it's got a tie at the front. Can't even see it. A tie at the front here. I will do proper photos, show it to you, etc. on. I've attached these cups inside. These were, I have to be honest, a right pain to actually fix on, because the front bit when I was trying to stitch it on was like all bunching up, and then trying to keep it taut wasn't working out either. So obviously it's a triangle, so all the stitches were wrong, and it was effectively just causing havoc, and I was not enjoying it. So I cheated. It's not cheating, I guess, but I've only literally attached it with this this top stitch here. So they are free flapping cups, but that's honestly fine. It will. This also does mean as the top stretches over time, the cups are always going to be in the right place, and you can also just adjust them as well. So yeah, very, very happy with how this ended up coming out. I also have progress on the white one, so I'm just going to grab that and I will be right back. I forgot to mention, the brown one I ended up doing 3 leaf motifs deep, which takes it just to below, or just above, sorry, my hip bone, which is kind of absolutely perfect, so great. The white version is obviously less completed, but we've got the 2 full cups, which I'm pretty sure you've seen before anyway, and I've got them connected with the back band. So this looks really, really long and wide apart, but how these tops work is that's the back, so it'll go all the way around the back, and then these cups will end up joining in the middle. So it's kind of hard to see, but your body goes in this hole effectively. So this is pretty much, well, I've got one more row and then the motif of the first leaf pattern is done. I think I'm probably going to end up making this band shorter than the brown one, purely because I am running out of time to get both done. I probably bit off slightly more than I can chew doing 2 in this time period. So I feel like I probably would have wanted 4 or 5, and if I can get 4 or 5 done, great, I will do 4 or 5. However, I think it's probably only going to realistically be 3 because I've still got to stitch the white cups on inside, which is literally like a 5-minute job, and also do the straps and the tie in the middle. The straps on the brown one took a hot minute, and that was with a lot thicker yarn with a bigger hook. So I think these straps are really going to take a long time. Or instead of doing them as long as I did the brown ones, I could make them shorter or try something different. The problem with that, I always find that these kinds of tops stretch out on me, and especially after they've been worn, then they don't support my chest as much as I'd like them to. So I end up pulling it tighter and tighter, so having something I can retie for me is more wearable long term than something that's fixed, because I think it's just going to get too baggy for me. So yeah, that's the progress on these so far. I'm aiming to, well, I've been saying I'm aiming to get these done for a long time now, but I'm aiming to get these completed within the next week. I've technically got like a week and a half, just over 2 weeks, just over a week and a half to get these all finished, which should be plenty enough time, but I have other projects with deadlines on that I need to get done in the same time window, and I've got loads of weekend plans coming up as well, so I won't have as much time over the next few weekends to crochet as I would like. So I am a bit on a time schedule, if I'm honest. So we're hoping to get the white one done. If it doesn't get done, then it'll get added to my whip pile. Yeah, talking of whip piles, let me grab my whip book quickly. So yeah, this is my whip book. It's just a leather bound journal I got off Amazon, that I have decided to keep a whip list, so I can see what project it is, the start date that I started it, and the finish date. This does actually go over page, which is not ideal. However, we do have my Urtica tops at the bottom, which I actually only have the white one listed, so that was good. So I'm going to add the brown one here. Maybe I'll just add a brown version. We'll add a brown version and then we'll cross it off with a finish date, because at the moment all of my whips do not have finish dates. There are too many whips on this page. So let's do that really quick. Let's write brown version. When did we start this? I don't know when I started the brown version, if I'm honest. God, this pen doesn't work. Let's just say it wasn't the same date as the white one, but it was a few days after. Let's say this is the 15th of July. And I actually finished this yesterday, which was the 20th of July. So that's now in there with a finish date. So I have managed to actually finish 4 of these motifs now, which is fantastic. I think this should be long enough. Once it's blocked, it should block out quite a lot. And I've actually made a start this morning on the little tie for the front bit. The chain in this though is so minute. This is taking an age to string together. This is different from the pattern. The pattern has it so you connect it to the inside of the cups to then string together to hold it at the front. I'm trying to play around with this one and make it more flexible. So I'm going to keep it loose so then I can tie it up in multiple different ways and just undo it. That's the aim anyway, and then all I've got to then do is put the straps on and this one's done. Have a long snake. I'm hoping this is going to be long enough because I really don't want to end up doing this again, but we'll throw it in and see what it looks like. Ta-da! So it's not quite as long as I wanted it to be, but it still laces the cups up at the top. And I think it'll probably stretch out a little bit as well, which will make it look better. Yeah, just I need to stitch in the cups each side. I'm just going to do it exactly the same as the other one, just by stitching in the top and just keeping them loose so when the top stretches over time it's not going to look weird. And then just the ties at the top. I think the ties, or the neck ties, are actually going to take a hot minute because the brown version on a lot bigger hook took probably about an hour per one, and this is, well, I'm using a 2.25, so maybe 2 hours per strap. But I'm hoping I'm going to be able to finish this week. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to finish this weekend. Strap one is done. It only took me about 40 minutes in the end. And I did 62 clusters. So yeah, just one more to go. It's on the cups. Guess who forgot to film an outro? Yep, that's me. So here you have editing, Kerrie, after the video's edited. Different day, different outfit, different time. But never mind, never mind. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of my Urtica tops. I think these are absolutely, oh, the cups are out back to front, fantastic. I think these are absolutely stunning. Why? This is what you get for not sewing them in properly. There you go. That's better. I think these are absolutely beautiful. The detail on this is, yeah, just fantastic. I am quite tempted, if I'm honest, to maybe take this pattern, the leaf pattern at the bottom, and memorize it, because apparently I had to read the pattern every single line I was doing because I couldn't memorize it. But I think, so I've got a lot of this lace weight yarn left. I'm wondering if it would make a really beautiful table runner, or at least have the leaf motifs like at the end and then do the middle as like a solid stitch in something. I think that would look really, really cool. But yeah, the pattern is now out, I believe. I think it came out, what day is it today? It's 6th today. I think it's either, I'll link it in the description below when the pattern goes live. I'm pretty sure it's already out by the time this video is coming out. Just as a reminder, it is the Urtica top by Here Goes Knotting. Angie is absolutely lovely to work with. If she ever does any test crochet patterns in the future, I definitely recommend getting in contact with her. I obviously didn't get around to doing the black version either, but yeah, doing 2 in this period was already too much, to be honest. I'm waffling, so I'm going to let you go, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.